Hi, today's good person to know is Reshma Sohoni. She's partner of and co-manages Seedcamp, which was established in 2007. Seedcamp have helped 93 companies raise over $100 million of capital, so she knows a thing or two about funding for fast-growing technology-based companies who want to make it big on a global scale. You need to adapt to this talk if you're not technology based, but I would still insist that you watch it because she gives tips as to how you can raise finance. Seedcamp provides access to 4 things: advice, network, validation and capital. They have an incredibly selective filtering process and aimed at 1% of companies. They are very much aimed at getting the very best entrepreneurs and taking them global. How? Well, they have investors who have between them billions and billions of dollars in capital. 2,000 companies apply to Seedcamp each year from 70 countries around the world, and they mentor 800. They have a year-long program which entails giving their own money, 50,000 euros, having an academy program, and they do 2 road trips a year across Europe and the US. Reshma concludes her talk by giving you her top tips to raise money, which includes being competitive, timely, knowing who you're pitching to, and understanding the funding life cycle. So if you're a business that's looking for funding or want to know more about Seedcamp, this is the perfect video for you. I hope you enjoy it and thank you for watching.
I've helped our 93 companies raise over $100 million of capital, so I guess I know a thing or two. And everything I talk about is geared towards fast-growing technology businesses, geared towards providing access to 4 things. So 1 is advice, 2 network, 3 validation, and 4th, of course, capital. You know, we're excited to be recognized by the likes of sort of Forbes and Wall Street Journal, Fortune magazine, all those kind of economists and so forth as being absolutely sort of world class. We have an incredibly selective filtering platform for how we select businesses. We know our criteria extremely well, and we kind of laser in on companies that match that criteria. The biggest thing we've learned in the last 5 years is to back commercially hungry entrepreneurs. So entrepreneurs we really think are really going to go after, are incredibly passionate, incredibly hungry, and extremely savvy about how they're going to build their success. 2,000 companies applying to Seedcamp per year from 70 different countries. We actually are funded by some incredibly smart investors. We mentor over 800 startups across 20 cities every year. Our mentor base is sort of 1,500 to 2,000 people. So we really look for the 1%. That's who gets through. Tangibly, what do we do if you're interested in applying and becoming part of Seedcamp? What we do is we have a 1-year-long program. Particularly in the first 3 to 5 months, we really help companies get to product market fit. So we help them get a board of advisors around the table, and then we help them get follow-on funding and scale. We invest up to 50,000 euros per business, have a bunch of amazing services by our sponsors, which amount to about 150,000 euros for our companies, and then this academy program where really we get incredible sort of speakers and a lot of toolkits that can help companies really work towards their product market fit. We get our alumni network working with each other, so our 93 companies really help each other out. We run business development sort of meetings and workshops and things, and one of the coolest things we do is go to the US twice a year. We take our companies on a roadshow from East Coast to West Coast, hitting the absolute centers of excellence. The most impacting, the biggest businesses in the world are our partners and sponsors. All these together, worth billions and billions of capital. This is what I really wanted to focus on with you guys, is sort of top 10 tips around raising money. And again, this is for high growth, technology oriented businesses. You have to really think about how much you need, and this probably goes across probably all kinds of businesses, but before you kind of think, I want to fundraise, you have to really think critically through what stage are you at of your business. So Are you a prototype? Have you already hit product market fit? Are you getting some good traction, or are you growing as a business? And that has a critical impact on the equation that the investor is always doing in their head. 2 is timing, how to get your timing right. So if you start to raise money when you're about to die because you're running out of money, or you're about to launch something, it's going to be an extremely difficult time to raise money because that investor is going to know they can just wait around. A lot of founders don't do is they run a lot of other things in their business as a process. So they run how to develop their product as a process. They learn, they run how to go out to the market, how to get sales as a process, and they have spreadsheets and all of that stuff, and doing it very smartly to do that. But what startups don't often do is think of fundraising as almost a product in itself. And the best is use your network, use the relationships, meet lots of people, meet lots of useful people. Try not to meet useless people. Really, you got to give it 3 to 6 months. So if you think about point 2, where I talked about timing, about milestones and when to raise, all of that starts to play together when you think it's going to take you 3 to 6 months to actually get money into that bank account of yours. The more competitive you can make it, the more people who don't know you're talking to them and that they all want to come invest money into you, the more you can do that, the better the faster it'll go, and the better deal that you will get. Understand fit. So as I told you clearly, I cannot invest in a company that's a restaurant, right? That's been clear. So if you approach to me and say, hey, I'm designing a label for young men, I'm kind of gonna look at you blank. So same thing with investors out there. Understand who's interested in what. Understand fund life cycle. So the way funds work, venture capital funds, is you raise sort of a 10-year fund, and you are deploying most of the capital into new businesses first 3-4 years. And the rest of it, the rest of that 6 years, you're just investing in old businesses that you funded that first year. Same thing with angels too, see where they are. And angels have obviously much smaller money, see how many investments they've done in the last year. Do they really have money to invest in new businesses? You have to look at it as a long-term marriage, probably longer term than most marriages last. You've got to be able to show commercial acumen. It's the biggest lesson I've learned in the last 5 years. There's every now and then there is the product was too early to the market, or too late, or too much competition, or whatnot, or not the right fit. But it really often boils down to how commercially hungry are you, and how good are you at sales, at partnerships, and basically boils down to people, and can you build relationships with people.